Welcome to today's training, guys. I'm excited for this one. So, this one we're going to be talking about the 5 pillars to become unstoppable. Okay, now what I mean by unstoppable is unstoppable physically, mentally, inside of your relationships, inside of your work, just unstoppable in all areas of your life. And that's going to start with you. If you cannot take care of yourself, all of these other areas are going to suffer. So, this presentation and what I'm going to be talking about today is how to take care of yourself, the best way to become unstoppable for yourself so that you can become unstoppable in other areas of your life. Okay, so that's obviously going to start with our body. So, number one thing that you need to do is you need to have a sustainable nutrition method. Okay, nutrition is going to come from 90% of your results. So this needs to specifically be something that's actually tailored to you, your lifestyle, your age, your height, your goals, customized for you because you're different than me. I'm different than Joe. You're different than Sally inside of the break room, right? So everything has to be unique specifically for you. Now, the best way to understand this is most programs, what are they going to do, right? They're going to just tell you, eat this, eat that, and if you don't like it, suck it up and you'll get results. Now, the problem with that is you feel that you can't live your life, right? Fitness should make our life better, right? The whole point of us exercising, the whole point of us taking care of ourselves is to have a better quality of life. It's not to have a more stressful and restrictive and miserable life. That's not the point here, okay? And so there's 100 ways you could lose weight, right? You could starve yourself. You'll lose weight doing that. You could restrict all your favorite foods, which I'm sure you've probably done in the past. You've tried to stay away from pizza, stay away from carbs, stay away from bread, stay away from rice, all this nonsense, which you probably are good for a couple of weeks, a couple of days. And then what happens after that is you end up binging, putting the weight back on, and you're back in a worse place than when you even started, right? You could also eat chicken and broccoli for the rest of your life. Now, I bring this one up because I talk to men every single day, every single month, all year long. And I have some guys that are 100 pounds overweight and they tell me that they can eat chicken and broccoli for the rest of their life. The fact is, if you are 150 pounds overweight, well, obviously, doing that is going to help you to lose weight. Why are you not doing it, right? And the fact is, it's not sustainable. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter if you love chicken and broccoli, you're not going to eat that forever for the rest of your life, nothing ever again, until you're 6 feet in the ground. Nobody's going to do that. I don't care who you are. The IFBB, the pro bodybuilder, they don't do that. I don't do that. You don't need to do that either. Okay? You could do 3 hours of cardio every single day if you've got the time. Sure, you'll lose weight if you do that, right? You can never eat sugar again. Again, that's not going to be sustainable for most of you. Most of you like to have a sweet once in a while. You want to have a piece of cake at the wedding. You want to have a piece of cake at the birthday. You want to be able to take your kids for ice cream, different things. That's not sustainable. That's not realistic for us to do, and it's not necessary. I have ice cream every single night because I enjoy ice cream, right? And so we have to have things in place that are actually sustainable for us because it doesn't matter what you say, right? Nobody could do this for the rest of their life. I don't care who you are. You could not starve yourself for the rest of your life because, well, you're going to die if you do that, right? You can't restrict all your favorite foods because at some point you're going to give in to those cravings. That's not going to be realistic. Chicken and broccoli for the rest of your life. Not sustain. None of this stuff is sustainable. Like point blank, period, right? And it doesn't matter how much willpower you think you have in the beginning, eventually you are going to crack. None of this stuff you can do forever. And therefore, it is unsustainable by default from the very beginning, which means that it set you up to fail from the very beginning. And so, what I want to ask you at this point, what are your current expectations and beliefs around nutrition? Like, take out a piece of paper, write this down. This is an exercise for you to do. I always want our trainings to be something that you can execute on, something that are actually actionable and not just content that you consume and then you go watch Netflix and you binge, you forgot what we even talked about here. So grab a piece of paper right now, write these questions down, pause this video, and I want you to go through these, right? Take a screenshot if you're on your mobile device, whatever. What are your current expectations and beliefs around nutrition? Like, do you believe that you have to give up all of your foods? Do you believe that only keto works for you? Do you believe that you cannot eat bread? Right? And now I want to ask you on the back end of that question, who gave you that expectation? Where did that belief come from? because that belief did not come from you specifically. You consumed content, or you consumed somebody else's belief, speaking with them in person, which made you believe that. Could be a bodybuilder, could be social media, could be Karen inside the break room, could be your overweight grandmother, could be anybody that told you these things at one point, and you soaked it up and you started to believe it, and now you are operating and you're taking actions inside of your life based on that belief. Everything that you do inside of your life, the actions that you take, are based on what you believe about your reality. Okay, now I want to ask you that: are those expectations realistic for your other obligations in life? So if you are somebody who says that you can never have sugar, but you've got kids in the house and you're at birthdays every single weekend, do you think that that's a realistic expectation for you? No, you're going to eat the sugar, right? And so it's not about restriction. It's about fitting these things in a flexible way that is customized for you, right? Now, the next question I want to ask you: do you actually enjoy dieting? Like, when you hear the word diet, what do you think, right? Do you cringe? Do you get like stressed out? Do you feel aggravated just even hearing it and thinking about, God, I got to go on another diet again? Do you enjoy dieting? Let me ask you that. Because the reality is, if you don't actually enjoy what you're doing, you're not going to do it long term, right? If you're in a relationship with somebody who's driving you crazy, texting you, where are you? What are you doing? You're going to stop dating that person, right? The same way, if you're at a job and you're making $15 an hour, whatever, and now they're asking you to go do another job and they didn't pay you more, and now they're asking you to work more hours and work overtime and they're not paying you more, eventually you're going to leave that job, right? Because it's not enjoyable. There's no reward on the other side of that. And so I'm asking you this, like, do you enjoy dieting? Like, if you view dieting as keto and eliminating carbs and all these things, but you love carbs, well, that doesn't sound very enjoyable to me, right? So if it's not enjoyable, you're not going to do it. I don't care how much willpower you have, you are not going to do it. So stop trying to do these approaches. You need something that's actually going to be enjoyable for you, because again, if you enjoy it, you will sustain it. Okay? Now, do you realistically believe that you can sustain dieting long term, forever, based on your current expectations? So again, what are your expectations? Are your expectations that you got to carry around Tupperware containers every day? Like, is that your expectation around, getting healthy and getting fit? Is that what your expectation is? Because I'm here to tell you, I don't do that every day. The people you see on social media do not do that every day. The people you see on social media who do these competitions, they do that for a short period of time, guys. 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and then they are living a normal life, right? They are utilizing the flexible approaches. They are not being restricted 24/7. Nobody is going to do that, right? And so if you're going to prep for a competition and you want to be a bodybuilder, fantastic. Go follow them, go listen to their approaches. But I know 99% of you here are not looking to do that. You're not looking to jump on a stage. You just want to have more energy for your kids. You want to have more energy for your family. You don't want to wake up and feel like shit every day. You want your partner to feel attracted to you again. You want to perform better at work. You don't want to feel exhausted after work. You want to be able to play with your kids. You don't want to sit on the couch and just veg out and drink beer. On the weekends, you don't want to just sit on the bench at the park instead of playing with your kids, right? These are the things that you really want. Like, let's be realistic. Let's be realistic about what we want, okay? So now that you know all of this, what are the foods that you are not willing to sacrifice? Be realistic. What are you not willing to sacrifice? I have a Hispanic family. I am not going to sacrifice rice. I am not going to sacrifice plantains. I am not going to sacrifice tortillas. I'm not going to sacrifice ice cream. Why? Because I love those foods. It's part of what I like. It's what I enjoy. It's part of my culture too. It's like things that I enjoy, right? So it's all about moderation, not restriction. You should still be able to go to grandma's house and have her pie on the weekend. But that doesn't mean you have to eat the whole damn thing. That's your problem. It's overeating. It's not the pie. One piece of pie didn't cause you to gain the weight. But eating a pie every single weekend, that will. You understand? So what foods are you currently overindulging with? Answer these questions. Write this down, because I'm telling you, if you do this exercise, you will start to see results. And you will start to wake up to the unconscious habits that you're doing every single day. What foods are you knowingly overindulging with? Are you over drinking soda? Are you drinking too much beer? Are you going through the fast food too much? What are you overindulging with now? Write that down. What triggers cause you to binge eat? Stress, work, your wife, your kids. What is causing you that when you feel that trigger, that stress, to take the action of going to find food? Why? Because after you feel the food, you feel relaxed, right? After you drink the beer, you feel relaxed, right? So you're not really wanting the food, you're wanting what you get from eating the food. You understand? This is how habits and behaviors work. So what actually causes you to do this? Is it not having a good schedule, right? Are you overworking yourself? You have no schedule in your day, and so you're just grabbing whatever you need. And so the stress of the day and your unorganization and your lack of planning is causing you to overeat. What is it? Right? Now, how would my views around nutrition and results change if I redefined what dieting meant, I removed restrictions, and I was actually able to do this long term? What kind of results do you think you could get, right? If you had something that was sustainable, that you enjoyed, that didn't have you restricting everything, didn't have you sacrificing eating the food with your family, didn't have you carrying around Tupperware containers, didn't have you avoiding carbs and all of these crazy things that we do, what kind of results do you think you get? Because that's what all of our clients do. Now, I'm not here to sell you anything. If you want my help, great. Send me a message. We'll have a conversation. I'm not here to sell you anything. But this works. I do this inside of my own life. We've done this with our clients. Our approach works. And it works because if you enjoy what you're doing, you'll continue to do it. Okay? So the summary here. You need to still be able to take your kids out for ice cream, your wife for steak and wine. You need to be able to have a piece of cake at a wedding. You don't need to avoid a social setting because your diet is not on the menu. That's ridiculous. And you don't need it. Okay? Again, if you're going to a bodybuilding competition for 8 weeks, yeah, you may got to sacrifice for that 8 weeks. But again, 99% of you are not doing that. So stop following a plan that was never meant for the goals that you want to achieve. Okay? Number 2, sustainable exercise. Exercise is just movement. That's it, right? You do not need to exercise to lose weight. Now, some of you, I know you're like ready to scream and yell at me in the comments. This guy's always talking about, look, you don't need to exercise to lose weight. You don't. It's calories in, calories out. It's a simple energy equation. If you burn more than you consume, you will lose weight. Okay? Now, exercise will help you to be healthier, feel less stressed, feel better in your day to day. There's a lot of benefits. You'll have muscle tone. You'll be able to eat more calories. There's a lot of benefits, right? Now, we already said nutrition was 90%, right? So exercise is just 10%. Realistically, when we're talking about weight loss, it's 10%. Okay? Now, here's the kicker. You are 90% more likely to actually track your nutrition and pay attention to that if you also exercise. So this is why I recommend that you do exercise. Because if you combine the two, you have accountability with two, and you're much more likely to do the two, right? And if we do two, we burn calories through exercise and we eat the correct calories through our nutrition, well, we're probably going to lose weight a lot easier, right? So here's what I want to ask you. What are your current expectations and beliefs around exercise? Some of you believe that you have to be inside of the gym 3 hours a day, every single day, or it's a waste of time. Let me ask you, where has that gotten you? Where has that gotten you? That belief that you have around exercise, that you need to be there for 3 hours a day, what kind of results has that gotten you? If you're watching this presentation right now, it hasn't gotten you the result that you want. So you need to challenge that belief, right? Who gave you those beliefs? These are the people you follow on social media. You see the guy who does fasted cardio in the morning, does a workout at 12 o'clock, does a workout at 8 p.m., says no excuses, go hard, screams and yells all day, every day at you. And now you think that that's what you should do. Here's the thing. That guy, his job all day is to be on social media and to exercise. You probably work 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. You have a family, you have kids, you have a wife, you have things going on. So you can't do that. It's not realistic, okay? And so if you don't have a realistic expectation, well, what's going to happen is your reality is going to fail and you're not going to get the result because you have an expectation that is mismatched with your reality, okay? So we already touched on point number 3. Are those expectations realistic for your other obligations? So again, if you have a family, you work full time, I don't think you have the time to spend 2-3 hours in a day inside of the gym. I don't even have that time. Like I could if I wanted to, right? But then other areas of my life would sacrifice that I'm not willing to sacrifice. Okay? So that's a whole nother topic. Now, do you enjoy exercise as categorized by your current expectations? So if you expect that exercise means that you have to be on a treadmill and you hate the treadmill, you're not going to enjoy it. And the same thing we said about our nutrition, right? Is if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it. If you hate the treadmill and you've been at work all day for 8 hours, and now I'm asking you to go to the gym for an hour and run on a treadmill, and you hate it, and you've just been all day at a job that you hate too, are you going to want to do that? No. But let's say you enjoy walking your dog. Gives you some peace. You go out in the nature, you see the trees, you hear the birds. It's peaceful, right? It's enjoyable. Then that's what you should do. It's not that hard, guys. It's really not. People like to complicate this stuff. It's really not that hard. The hard part is actually doing it. Okay? So now here's the thing. Going forward, I want you to ask yourself, what exercise do I actually enjoy doing? What do I enjoy doing? Like I said, if you enjoy walking the dog, do that. If you enjoy a home workout, stop going to a gym. Do home workouts. So that leads us to our second question. Where do you prefer to exercise? So again, if you're somebody who you don't want to be in a gym, you're afraid of the gym, you don't like people looking at whatever the case is, then just do a workout at home, right? If you're short on time and you work long hours, the last thing you need to be doing after work is driving 30 minutes to a gym, spending an hour inside of a gym, driving 30 minutes back home, fighting with people inside of the gym for the machines. Just work out at home. Just work out at home, right? And now ask yourself this, because you're not going to feel like doing this all the time, right? Now, I know I say you should enjoy it, but there is going to be times where you're not going to really want to do it. That's the reality. We don't always want to do everything, right? You probably don't want to go to work every day, but you end up going, right? Okay? So ask yourself, there has to be a reason why you're doing it. Do I feel better or worse after exercising? If you feel worse after you exercise, you should probably just turn this off right now because obviously this is not going to be for you, right? You should always feel better after you exercise, right? You never regret actually exercising, right? The only regret is when you don't do it. And you always feel better. Why? Because you did what you didn't really want to do sometimes, and you have that feeling of accomplishment that you pushed through your own BS, right? You stuck to your word. Now, next, how often can I realistically commit to doing this exercise? So, our clients, again, I'm not here to sell you anything, I'm just telling you 30 minutes, 3 times a week. That's all we require from our clients. We got guys losing 30 pounds in 6 weeks, right? Like, again, it's all about finding a plan and getting a plan that's, again, customized for you, right? It needs to be customized for you because, again, as we've already said, everybody's different. So you got to ask yourself, how much time can you realistically commit? Do not overcommit yourself. Start small, and then if you can do more, add a little bit more. But don't commit yourself to 2 hours of workouts every single day, 7 days a week, plus meal prep and containers and all this craziness if you're not even going to the gym or doing a walk right now because you're setting yourself up for failure. You're overcommitting. So how often can you realistically commit to doing exercise? We have found, again, for most of our clients, 30 minutes 3 times a week is what people start with best and what we've seen great success in. Now, how would your views around exercise change if you redefined what exercise meant? Again, exercise is just movement, guys. It is just movement. So do not think that you have to be inside of a gym. Do not think you have to be outside of a treadmill. Walking outside is much better than walking on a treadmill. Why? Because if you're going outside, there's hills, there's heat, there's sweat, there's more variables. It's more enjoyable. You're not in a stationary place. You're seeing things. You're moving. But it's the same movement. It's still a walk, right? So it doesn't matter where you do it. It's just a walk. Just because you did a walk inside of a gym doesn't mean you burn more calories than if you just walked outside, right? We have these crazy beliefs that the fitness industry has, screwed us up with. Okay, so ask yourself that last question there. Now, in summary, exercise is simply a tool that you use to get into a caloric deficit. So, guys, keep it basic, keep it enjoyable, because if you do that, you will continue to do it. Okay. Now, number 3. Coaching and mentorship. And again, I know some of you are going to click off immediately. This guy wants to sell me. Just go away. Go away. Go away. Get off. Just go away if that's what you're trying to do here. Look, the fact is, you having a coach and somebody who you can actually look up to, the best people in the world have a coach. Michael Jordan had a coach. The best boxers in the world have a coach. The best athletes have coaches. Everybody should have a coach. Why? Because it removes the guesswork, the failures, and the self-doubt that occur from you trying to do this alone. You trying to do this alone is just stroking your own ego. That's all that this is, right? Having a coach is going to help you to have clarity and certainty around the actions that you're taking. So if you just find a random workout online that's telling you to do, X, Y, and Z, but you don't understand why you're doing it or where this plan came from or what's going on, you're not going to have clarity and certainty in it. If you don't have clarity and certainty, then you're probably not going to continue to take those actions. You'll do it for a little while, but eventually you're going to guess those actions. Is this right for me? I don't know. Is this working? You're going to start to ask these questions, and then you're going to go find something else, and you're going to end up in this rabbit hole. Okay. Having a coach is going to give you a proven roadmap from a professional. I want to highlight that word, from a professional, right? So your Aunt Becky may have great intentions for you, but the love you have for somebody is not a qualification for taking their advice. Okay? If they don't have the results that you actually want, then you shouldn't listen to them, right? If somebody told me how to start my business, but they were homeless on the street corner, I don't think I would listen to them. That's not a person that I would suggest you listen to for business advice. If somebody is overweight, I don't suggest you listen to them for exercise and nutrition advice. So all of these things here, you have to be careful about who we're listening to. You always need to be consulting with a professional. Okay, and then I've also got Bertha in the break room, because when you're at work, when you're in the break room eating, everybody loves to tell you about their diet and how they're losing weight this month and yada, yada, yada. Just stop. Find a professional. It's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of stress, and a lot of money from doing things right from the beginning versus doing things wrong from the beginning. Okay? This is also going to avoid you from hitting plateaus, right? Because if you don't really understand why you're doing what you're doing, at some point you're going to hit a plateau. In the beginning, it may work because your body is shocked, it's adapting to something new, but you're not going to know what to do once you hit the plateau, right? Now, with a coach, you avoid that because that coach can help you to tell you the next step. It's like you have a GPS from starting to end point. You're in the middle. You need directions to continue your journey, right? The coach can help you with that. This is also going to put skin in the game for you. I don't care. I've been doing this 6-7 years. I've had countless clients. I've done a lot of free stuff. I've done a lot of paid stuff. All the free stuff, nobody values it, right? They just throw it in the corner. They forget about it. They don't execute on it. They don't answer the messages because it was free. There was no skin in the game. They can walk away at any time. By you actually getting a coach, you are putting skin in the game, which is going to help you with your commitment and your accountability to actually follow through on what you said you were going to do. Okay? You're staying accountable to somebody else. This isn't just you doing things on your own, because if you leave it to yourself, right, you're probably not going to do it. It's the same reason why when you go to work, there's a boss, right? Because the boss is there to make sure that you show up for work so that when the company pays you, they know you did the work you were supposed to do and you worked the hours you were supposed to work, because there's accountability there. But most people don't want to have that in their health and fitness. Why? Because they're not serious about their goals. If you were serious about your goals, you would get accountability to make sure that you do it. If you don't want accountability, it's because you're not serious about what you're doing. Period. Whew, this is a good one. This is a real good one. It's also going to help you to build confidence, to know that you're on the right path. Again, you're not going to have the self-doubt because you're going to actually have the ability to consult with somebody who has gotten the results to know, again, that you're doing the right thing. Because most of the time, what's going to happen, again, is you're going to start to ponder. You're going to do things for a couple of days, a couple of weeks. You're going to see something new on the gram, and you're going to say, oh, that looks nice. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do this, right? And then you start to ponder and wonder, and then maybe you start to go a different direction when you should have just stayed the path that you were on, right? So the coach can help you with that. Can provide encouragement, because again, there's going to be days where you're going to try to self-sabotage. Our mind will do this to us. I am a coach, and I even have a coach because I even fall into this trap, right? Again, I told you everybody should have a coach, okay? You will try to self-sabotage yourself. The mind will always try to pull you back to the old you because that's the familiar thing, right? The mind does not like change. People really don't like change. They say they want change, but they hate to change. Why? Because it's unknown, okay? And a coach is going to tell you what you need to hear and not just what you want to hear. So again, your wife may love you, right? But she cannot discipline you. If your wife is disciplining you and holding you accountability, there's a problem in that relationship. That's not the type of relationship that you want with your spouse. You want a loving, nurturing relationship there. You don't want her to be disciplining you. You don't want her to be yelling at. That's going to destroy your relationship, okay? So don't tell me that your wife holds you accountable. If your wife holds you accountable, you've got even more of a problem than I even we won't even go there. But you need to have somebody who is an external relationship that can actually hold you accountable because they can tell you things that might hurt your feelings in the moment, but a day later, 2 days later, 3 days later, you're going to thank them for doing that because that's what you needed to hear, right? Now, if somebody you love tells you something you don't want to hear, that relationship, that loving relationship is going to start to break. That's why you don't want somebody that you love to be doing the job of a coach. You need the coach relationship to be a coaching relationship and the love relationship to be a loving relationship, period. Okay, now a coach can save you years of time and thousands of wasted money trying things on your own. I've talked to men, all walks of life, that have spent thousands of dollars on supplements, shakes, the wraps around their stomach, the sauna suits, the massage guns. If you just did it right from the beginning, you wouldn't have had that. You wouldn't have had the years of failure and everything that's cost you, right? If you've been overweight for years and you've gone through years of failure, that has affected you professionally. That has affected you in your relationships. That has affected you in your self-confidence and your relationship with yourself. It's not just about 3 years, right? It's 3 years of not being unstoppable in all areas of your life. And so all areas of your life have not been what they could have been if you had actually done this from the very beginning. Again, most people simply give up because they encounter failure of trying to do things on their own or trying to do things the cheap way. And they fail so many times that mentally they don't want to fail again. And so their guard is up and they don't want to try anything else ever again because they've done too many failures. And the problem is they tried it on their own. All those failures, all those years of being frugal or cheap and trying the cheap thing, that cheap thing that you did, you bought 100 times, right? So you actually spent more doing the cheap shit than if you just spent the money up front for a real coach that would have actually helped you and would have avoided the failures and would have avoided the stories and all the bullshit that's going on right now had you done this right from the very beginning. I have this conversation with men every single day, okay? Number 4, you need to have a community, accountability, and support. Think about the top 5 people you spend time with right now. It's probably coworkers, the neighbor that you barbecue and drink with, the people who enable, right? Who are the top 5 people you spend time with? And ask yourself, do those people look after their health? If the answer is no, well, it's no surprise to me why you're not looking after your health either, because nobody else around you is. So you're surrounded in an environment where nobody gives a shit about the health. So of course you're not going to either, right? What are the habits of the people around you? Okay, take a screenshot of this. Do they have a fairly negative outlook on life, right? If you have people who are constantly drinking, complaining about work, complaining about their job, oh, the government, sticking it to the man, blah, 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 the negative that people talk about, it's no surprise why you're here, right? It's no surprise why you have the problems that you have. And look, I'm here again to tell you the truth of not necessarily what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. That the people that you're spending time with are probably not helping you, and you need to find a community that actually has people who are on this same mission of taking care of their health and improving their life and becoming a better man, not just for them, but for their wife, for their kids, for their job, or for their business, right? Now, do these 5 people have a life that inspires you? So if Joe down the street that you drink with every Saturday and barbecue with, would you trade places with him? If the answer is no, if the answer is no, then you probably again need to start finding some different people to spend your time with. Now, I'm here to tell you, I never said this was going to be easy. I'm just here to tell you what it's going to take, and I know a lot of people don't want to do what it's going to take. But if you've made it this far, I think that your chances are pretty high if you're still watching this video. Okay. Do these people inspire me to become better and encourage my dreams, or do they pull me back? Right? The guy down the street, Joe, if you barbecue with him and drink with him and you're trying to do push-ups on Friday and he sees you and he's walking by and he's laughing at you for doing push-ups, why are you working out, man? Is that very supportive? Is he encouraging you or is he discouraging you, right? Because misery loves company, right? Look, I told you guys this video is, I'm telling you the truth here, okay? So now I want you to do this exercise here. I want you to categorize your top 5 relationships and put them into 3 buckets. You have growth relationships, stagnant relationships, and negative relationships. And then I want you to ask yourself, who do I need to spend less time with and or remove from my life? Again, didn't say it's going to be easy, but these are the things that you're going to need to ask yourself, okay? And this is where, again, having a coach, again, I'm not here to tell you, do whatever you want. If you want my help, great. If not, cool too. This is where a coach can help you with stuff like this. This is not easy stuff, right? So here's your future questions. What habits does a positive environmental influence have? Congratulating each other, posting pictures, being active with the kids, doing things that add value to your life, right? People who look after their health, people who push you to become better, people who tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear, right? And so ask yourself these questions here. What traits should I be looking for going forward in deciding who should be allowed in my circle of influence? You have to be very careful who you allow around you. Because again, if you have 5 alcoholics around you, you will probably become the 6th. If you have 5 millionaires around you, you will probably become the 6th. That's just life, right? If you look at everybody around you, I can guarantee you, you all have something very, very close in common. That's why you spend time with each other. But it doesn't have to be that way. Just because it has been that way doesn't mean it needs to continue to be that way. Every day you have a choice, okay? What traits should you be avoiding going forward? Think about what you don't want. Negativity, complaining. You get the idea here. Now ask yourself, how would my life change if I only associated with positive, motivated, and those living healthy lives on a daily basis? What would change? Would you be able to get your results easier? Do you think that you would actually feel better daily instead of feeling drained? And so in summary here, guys, do not do this alone. Okay, having the right community will help you stay motivated and take actions on the days that you don't feel like it. Motivation is contagious, and I don't really like the word motivation because motivation is always temporary, but it does help. I'll be honest. You know, when you have people around you who are kicking ass, achieving their goals, pushing you, like that's very contagious. The same way that you have negative around you, that's also very contagious. Okay. So the last one here is number 5. So education that you can get results for life. So I want you to think about how to fish versus just getting a fish. Okay. So if we can actually teach you how to fish, then you will eat for life. If I just give you a fish, right, I just send you 5 workouts to do and eat this at 9 a.m., this at 12 p.m. I'm just giving you a fish, right? I'm not actually educating you to continue to do this for life. I'm just enabling you for a day, right? Now, the key here is that when you actually get the education and you find something that actually teaches you how to fish, well, you never need another coach, program, or trainer ever again because you have the tools for the rest of your life. Now, again, this is something that we provide to all of our clients because this is a crucial piece of what we do. Now, again, you make your choice. If you want our help, great. There's a link somewhere on my page or website. You can send me a message if you want our help. But I'm just telling you what the 5 things are that you need to get a long-term result. Okay? Now think of the education like college tuition. You get to keep the education even after you finish, right? So if you are currently working as an accountant, you had a training process to learn how to do that job. Even if you leave that job, you still know how to be an accountant, right? You don't lose that experience. So it's the same thing here. Now, at the moment, you've got 2 different options, right? You could go and get a personal trainer after hearing this. Now, a personal trainer is going to be $50 for about 1 hour on the low end. And these are not even current numbers. These are like 2019 numbers. So I'm sure it's actually even higher than this, right? 200 on the high end for a 1 hour session. A lot of this is going to vary where you live as well. We start breaking that down. That's 600 a month on the low end, 2,400 a month on the high end. Okay. Now that's for 3 sessions a week, which is what I said, 3 sessions. That's what you're going to need, like minimum, to get results. 3 sessions, right? And so if you go with a personal trainer, they're only focused on the training. We've already talked about all of these other aspects, right? But we already said nutrition was 90% of the results. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, I used to do personal training in 2014 to 2016, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to pay that premium price because essentially you're paying that premium price to have a babysitter count your reps. I'm just going to tell it like it is, right? If you go to the gym and you see most trainers, they're just like casually talking. They're not training hard with their clients. They're, on their phones half the time, not even paying attention to the client. And so it just doesn't make a lot of sense to be paying that premium price because you're not going to get everything you need from a personal trainer. You could also find a one size fits all program online, right? Some for 47 bucks. Everybody gets the same thing. You go on the website, you click the buy button, it spits it out. Everybody gets the same, right? Do this, do that, don't complain, you'll get results. It's the same problem that we talked about with the nutrition and the exercise at the very beginning. There's no customization. They're not taking into account your schedule, your time, your lifestyle, nothing. And they're just basically telling you do this, and if you don't get results, well, it's your fault. No, it's not your fault. The problem is the program was never suited for you. It was never customized for you. They don't know anything about you, your goals, your lifestyle, your schedule, nothing, right? And there's no continued education, which is what we're talking about here, which leaves you in the hamster wheel. So you hit a plateau, you have no support, whatever. Maybe you do the program, but now you don't know what to do. You're in a hamster wheel, no matter what with this situation, because again, there was no education behind it, and there's no customization behind it to find out what you like, what you dislike, all that stuff. Guys, that's not just about getting results. A lot of people I talk to, they say, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight. Look, there's 100 ways you could lose weight, as we already talked about. But it's not just losing the weight. It's actually losing a weight in a way that you can enjoy and in a way that you can sustain. Because willpower is only going to last so long. Okay, so in summary here, you don't need something that just tells you what to do. You can go on Google and find that. There's thousands of things that you could go onto Google and find, and they'll tell you what to do, right? But the reality is you need to know why. Because if you don't have clarity and certainty around the process, you're not going to get the results because you're going to be questioning the process. When you have clarity and certainty around what you're doing, you're going to continue to do it and therefore get better results. You're also going to have the education for life versus just the time frame of, okay, I'm with him for 10 weeks and he's telling me what to do, and then after that I'm clueless. That's not what you want, guys. So in summary, okay, if you guys want a PDF training of this, I can send this over to you if you want to just look through this. Just comment PDF below, I'll send it to you. But look, I just want to close with this, guys. The approaches and methods that I share in this group inside of these videos, I'm not here to debate you. If you want to debate, you can go on YouTube, you can type in the comments and argue with people on YouTube and Facebook. Look, I have no time, I have no energy to debate with you. I've been doing this for the last 6 years, and I've been doing this for the last 20 inside of my own life. Now, my results and my clients' results speak for themselves, okay? If your way worked, why are you here? So if you're somebody who's thinking about typing in the comments, well, this was what I think, and this what I don't care what you think, because you don't have the result. So therefore, what you're telling me about what you think works is irrelevant, and I don't care because I have the result. My clients have the result. So I'm not here to argue with you. Go on another website. You wouldn't be here if that was the case. Okay, so drop the ego and be coachable, or nothing's going to change for you, man. And again, if you want our help, again, that is something that we do offer to you. You can go to www.theunstoppablewarrior.com. You can go ahead and fill out our application, and then we can see what we can do to help you. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.